just tell him, now is my time. Now is my time.
Well, right back, gonna flip it up. He's got a pass flip.
It's the time, it's the place.
Oh my goodness!
Right on my tail.
Tyler Menga comes up.
And he's gonna land it.
The time is right. Now is the time and we here to fight. I came here to ride or to die, to be right on the top of this mountain until the
The city of brotherly love plays host to Stadium Championship Series East as excited Monster Jam fans have stormed Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Monster Jam Primetime. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Adam Enticknap. The war wages on for the series championship between Zombies Bar Mousau and Gravedigger's Tyler Menga. Tyler was on a roll, retaking the series points lead. Then Zombie rolled into Foxborough, won the event championship, and now is once again on top of the point standings.
Yeah, Scott, this is a huge win for Bar Mousau. Monster Jam is all about momentum, and Bari grabbed that momentum right back from Tyler Menga. He's been so cool, calm, and collected, but he has so much experience that I really think is contributing to how he's getting it done. He's one step closer to getting that championship.
The battle at the top is not the only tight points race on this series as Armando Castro and Dalton Wider battle for the number 4 spot behind Camden Murphy. Adam, as we enter down the stretch here on this series, who has the edge in that competition?
Well, you know, you got to give a round of applause to both these drivers coming from the Arena Series. They've done such a fantastic job adapting to the stadiums. But Armando Castro, he has 7 skills wins and 3 event championships. So it looks a little bit better on the scoreboard. But Dalton Widener, he has 5 racing wins, and he's been that little bit more consistent. So I got to give it to the 12,000-pound dinosaur.
With just a few critical stops ahead of World Finals, let's hear from Jurassic Attack driver Dalton Wider, who's with Leslie Mears in his Northern Tool and Equipment pit report.
You're right, guys. Just a few more critical stops on the road to Monster Jam World Finals. And Dalton, I know that this is something that's really playing heavy on your mind. You know, we go to Foxborough, and it's not the event that you wanted. So how do we come back here in Lincoln Financial Field, almost the same conditions here, and make the best of it?
You know, honestly, I'm just gonna try to do what I've done all year, stay consistent, and try to keep myself in 4th place. I feel like I have a better chance of going to World Finals if I stay in 4th place, and I am the most prepared that I have been all year. I had electrical issues all week last week. I've touched and changed everything that has anything to do with how this engine runs. So I should be good. I tested it yesterday after practice. It was ripping real good. We'll see how it goes today.
Great season so far for Dalton Wider. He makes his Link debut tonight. In fact, nearly half the field will be driving here for the first time. Cynthia Goautier and Colt Stevens, though, lead the pack, making their 3rd start at Lincoln Financial Field. Who do you have your eye on tonight, Adam?
Well, tonight I have to give the edge to the more experienced drivers, Jim Kohler, Camden Murphy, Bar Mousau. Guys like that in the mud and at a new stadium are going to do well.
Here are the current season point standings on the East. Bar Mousau at the top of this leaderboard with just a 2-point advantage over Gravedigger, Classroom Crusher in 3rd, and there is that tie. Jurassic Attack and El Toro Loco locked right now at 431. Drivers will compete tonight in 3 competitions: JCB Racing, the Skills Challenge, and Freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish, with 12 going to the winner. And the driver with the most points at the end of the event will be crowned overall event champion. It's time for Track Talk. Once again, this track soaked for mud. They should call this series Stadium Series Mud. Adam, how do they navigate it again here in Philly?
Well, it's going to be a little bit of the same, but a little different too. The floor is very, very hard packed. It looks like they mixed in some dry dirt, so it's going to be a little bit tackier. But the key is not hitting your brakes. As soon as you hit the brakes, that 12,000-pound truck is going to slide. Get the truck turned early and make what you can happen.
Up first tonight will be JCB Racing. Let's take a look at the bracket. Classroom Crusher, Avenger, Thunder Roar, Zombie automatically advancing into round 2. Who do you like in round 1?
Well, I like Mayhem and Dalton down there. You know that Dalton beat him once already. Mayhem's looking for revenge, and that 2nd round matchup's against Zombie.
Let's go down to the track here, Adam. Our first matchup, Cynthia Goautier, Lucas Stabilizer. She is in the gray lane. In the blue lane, we see Joe Foley in action. Now we'll see how this track starts to play out. We got a green light, and we got a race going on right now. Slowly, both drivers taken to the berm, and Axe is stopped and has to hit the brakes and reverse on that berm.
Yeah, just like I said, as soon as you hit the brakes on these 12,000-pound trucks in this mud, you are going to slide to wherever the truck takes you right now. Cynthia has a big advantage, but what I'm looking at is what every other driver's looking at. They're trying to figure this track out. It's going to be slick.
And Cynthia Goautier going to get the win, so she's able to navigate the track right off the bat. 29.538. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, you see, as soon as he locks up that truck, it just goes perfectly straight. Isn't able to get that truck turn, has to reverse it. Joe Foley knocked out in the first round.
Next race here in round 1, Kevin Crocker, Megalodon lining up on the blue pod. His opponent, Armando Castro, Toro Loco on the gray side. And here we go, Armando fighting to get to 500. He's 18-20 on the season. He's going out a little faster right now. So Armando Castro not hitting the brakes at all. Adam, he has got this thing locked in.
Yeah, Armando Castro did something very smart, and that's what he just went so far inside off the start to try to push his truck into that berm, and it definitely worked.
Final turn here for El Toro Loco. Megalodon just trying to get through the track, but El Toro Loco in that gray lane, going to get over the finish line. Little bounce onto the nose of the truck. And Armando Castro moving on with a time of 28.737. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, you see Megalodon, he's definitely trying to go slow here, but that rear tire still gets over the top of that berm. It's going to be very slick on that blue side. Drivers are going to have to be careful. And you see right here, he just oversteers the truck, gets on the throttle a little hard, has to let off and figure out how to straighten out that truck.
Next up is going to be Tyler Menga in Gravedigger, Mike Christensen in Vendetta. With more on this matchup, we bring in Leslie Mears.
Yesterday, which he never does. But on that pass, he found out the key to the corner. Now, I don't know if it still holds true now since the conditions are much different, but he said he had an idea what would work, but he found the answer in that second pass.
All right, thank you, Leslie. Tyler Menga taking the turn very tight. We saw Mike Christensen go wide, try to nail that space out there with all the mud, but Tyler right now has the advantage on the blue side. And on the finish, Gravedigger going to get the win. Mike Christensen up over the berm, doesn't even cross that finish line. Tyler Menga moves on 28.288.
Mike Christensen struggling just a little bit. It looks like he tried to push it a little too hard in this corner. You can see him getting on the throttle, and that hard pack is showing up.
One more race here in round 1. Dalton Wider, Jurassic Attack. He goes up against Chris Kohler in Mayhem. Our final round 1 matchup. One spot remains in round 2. Jurassic Attacker Mayhem will take that right now. Dalton Wider goes up high. Chris Kohler stays light, and Chris Kohler with the lead in Mayhem right now.
Yeah, great job from Chris. He got the truck turned very early. But Dalton Wider, he's trying to make a comeback. Doesn't get the drive in turn 2, though.
Chris Kohler not pushing this at all. He is staying very low to the throttle here, and he's got that rhythm going right now, and that's going to be the difference here. Mayhem gets it done. Slow was fast for Chris Kohler, and he turned in a great time, 27.736.
See right here at the beginning, just looks like Dalton was a little slow to get that truck turned, grab the berm, and then in this last corner, he just loses that drive. It's so slick on that blue side.
Let's take a look at our bracket for round 2 with JCB Racing. Classroom Crusher, Lucas Stabilizer, Avenger, El Toro Loco, Thunder Roars, Gravedigger, Zombie, Mayhem. Fastest round 1 time, Chris Kohler, 27.736. Coming up, Camden Murphy brings the school bus to Philly for the first time when Classroom Crusher kicks off round 2 next on Primetime. Monster Jam is brought to you by JCB, the official heavy equipment partner of Monster Jam. We are back with more JCB Racing in Philadelphia. We've reached round 2. Up first, Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher against Cynthia Goautier in Lucas Stabilizer. She had a great round 1 race. She's going to stay in that lane. Camden Murphy on the far side of the track in the blue lane. They both come off the berm, and right now Classroom Crusher with the slight lead at him.
Yeah, it looks like the track is actually starting to tack up a little bit. It's definitely getting a little more traction. Camden Murphy off to an advantage.
In that turn, Camden Murphy had a lot of ground here. He's got a nice lead. Final corner on the blue side for Classroom Crusher. Off the ramp he goes, Camden Murphy advancing to round 2 with a time of 25.305. Fastest time of the night so far.
Yeah, you can see that the times are dropping. I love the way he just drifted into the corner so early. Look at the exit. He's on the throttle just perfectly. Camden Murphy is feeling it here in Philadelphia. You can see this last corner, slides it in just as perfect, gets the drive, and finishes it off.
Ice-like surface right now at Lincoln Financial Field. Armando Castro, Toro Loco back now in round 2. Jim Kohler, Avenger. Armando now 19-20, Jim 13-21 on the year. Avenger, the far side of this track in that blue lane. Armando Castro has the lead. He's had it already in round 1. How much of an advantage does that give him?
Yeah, it's definitely a big advantage already being out there. You can see Jim Kohler's trying to test the waters right now, but he's not far behind, Scott.
Not at all caught up in the turn and the straightaway. Final corner, Armando stopping on a dime around that pod. Jim is going to spin out trying to overcompensate the deficit, and Armando Castro takes the win.
Yeah, right there you can see the advantage that Armando had. He gets on the brakes, just tries to power out of it a little too hard. Can't adjust to this slick dirt in Philly quite yet.
Next up in round 2, Tyler Menga, Gravedigger up against Colt Stevens in Thunderosaurus. Tyler comes into this round 37-12 with 8 racing wins. Blue lane for Tyler Menga, gray lane for Colt Stevens. Excellent for both drivers off the berm and across that chalk line.
Colt Stevens is powering down, but he goes a little wide. It looks like Tyler catches the pod on that side, flips over. This one's Colt's.
Gravedigger going over. That gives Colt Stevens a clean shot at the finish line. They're going to stop him right here because of Tyler being over, and that is going to be huge not only for tonight, but for the series point standings. Colt Stevens moving on. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, Tyler does what he's supposed to do. He sets the truck early, but he sets it just a little too hard, and you can see he just grabs this outside tabletop. It hooks up on that jump and flips him over.
Next up, Bar Mousau, Zombie, Chris Kohler in Mayhem. Chris had the fastest time in round 1, but more on this race. We go right back to Leslie Mears.
Chris Kohler's new motor had him fastest in practice, and that's because he said he loves this dirt. It matches his driving style where he can just let it drift and hang. And that's what we're seeing a lot of out here, is just drifting and hanging on.
And Chris does clip the pod on the far side, but he still has a great spot here. He's got a chance for the win. Bar Mousau slings Zombie over on the side of the gray, avoids the pod. Chris Kohler, though, takes a tight turn, and on to the finish. Chris, all kinds of trouble on that blue side. Bar Mousau gets the win. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Wow, that was so close for Chris Kohler. You can see in this last corner, he slanged the truck in there, but he just got a little overly excited with the throttle. He spins out, loses the traction, and can't get that finish line double.
Here's the bracket for the semifinals. Classroom Crusher meets El Toro Loco. Thunderosaurus meets Zombie. Fastest time of the night so far, Camden Murphy 25.305 in Classroom Crusher. We are down to 4 left in the bracket. Up next, we crown our JCB Racing winner when Monster Jam Primetime returns. Monster Jam is brought to you by the Utah Sports Commission. Utah, the state of sport. Salt Lake City, Utah is the home of Monster Jam World Finals 24. Tonight's home, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. We reach the JCB Racing semifinals. We have Camden Murphy in Classroom Crusher against Armando Castro in El Toro Loco. With Armando's thoughts on this Philly track, let's hear from Leslie.
Armando said the key when it's muddy like this, you just got to pitch it in early. And you guys, I know you've been paying attention to those angles out there, just how soon they're pitching it in to try to get lined up square to that ramp for the final jump.
And that's been the key to winning all night long, is the drivers that are able to navigate that turn early enough to get the distance, to get the drift. We see Camden Murphy doing a great job on the gray lane. Classroom Crusher with another big win over El Toro Loco. Camden Murphy moving on to the finals. 24.269, Adam, fastest time of the night.
Yeah, you gotta love it. The times are dropping so much. That's telling me that the track's getting better. But in this last corner, it just looks like Armando pushed it a little too deep.
Next up in the semis, Colt Stevens, Thunderosaurus, Bar Mousau, Zombie. Barry gets lane choice. He has chosen to go on the side that he has had most success with tonight on that gray lane. Colt Stevens in the blue lane, and here we go. Final spot in the JCB Racing Finals. Up for grabs, Thunderosaurus with the lead right now.
Yeah, but I love what Barry did in that first corner. He blipped the throttle just a little bit to get that truck turned around, but it seems like Colt Stevens is just driving aggressive and confident today here in Philly.
Colt Stevens with a chance here. Final turn for both drivers, but Colt Stevens clips it on the other side of the track. Does a wheelie over the finish line. Bar Mousau gets the win. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Slightly too aggressive in this last corner, and that's been the name of the game. You see Colt Stevens just overpowered the throttle. He thought there was more traction than there was, and you can see just at that finish line, came up a little short on that double because of a bad angle.
The JCB Racing final matchup is set. We will see Camden Murphy and Classroom Crusher going head-to-head with Bar Mousau and Zombie. Camden had the fastest time last round, 24.269. That gets him lane choice, and he is on the blue lane right here. So So Bar Mousau on the gray lane where he stood at last race and won. Here we go, final matchup. Camden Murphy versus Bar Mousau.
Camden Murphy's truck looks like it's set up a little bit better towards the rear right now. It's going to be able to hook up out of these corners. Camden Murphy slings it into turn 2. Bar Mousau just a little bit behind.
Classroom Crusher with the lead at the halfway point. Final turn over the gray pond goes Classroom Crusher. Bar Mousau slinging Zombie as well. Final push to the finish line. We got a close one. And what a race that was to finish it off. 23.905 gets Camden Murphy the win. Here's the original Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Camden Murphy going in his bag and pulling out another trick. Camden Murphy in this last corner goes a little bit wide, giving an opening to Bar Mousau, but it wasn't enough, and Classroom Crusher comes away with the win.
Camden gets a second racing win of the season. He is standing by with Leslie Mears.
So it was dicey out there for a while, but you were fast from the get-go. I noticed you were pitching in very, very early. How critical was that to making sure you could square up to the finish line?
Super, super critical. I mean, we were watching the track all night long, or all day before the event started, and all of us drivers were kind of talking about it, seeing if maybe just the top layer was going to be super slick, and see if as the rounds go on, start digging down to the drier stuff. And man, my hat's off to my crew chief Shane. I was nose in the whole time, and I was relying on him and what he had to say about the track. And for the first round, when we had lane choice, it was all on him, and man, we just kept having them, kept winning them, kept getting out at it. But man, we got more here to go, ready to have some more fun.
Camden Murphy getting 12 points for the win as we check out our first BKT overall event leaderboard. Zombie in second with 11, El Toro Loco in third with 10. Thunderoris has 9, Lucas Stabilizer with 8. Next up in Philly was the Skills Challenge, where drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels, or they could do a donut, and each driver was scored equally by an expert judge and fans in attendance on creativity, skill, and execution. With 12 more points on the line, here are your top 5. Tyler Menga, Gravedigger with the big air.
Tries to execute a sky wheelie, doesn't get the front end as high as he wanted. That's why he ended up in 5th.
Coming in 4th, Armando Castro, El Toro Loco, backing up onto the trench box into a nose wheelie.
Yeah, great job using the trench box. Such a technical maneuver coming from the World Final Skills champion. You see he can get that little crab walk style going right there, using the rear steer and the front steer to one side. Then he's going to go to the other side. Great job in executing in 2-wheel skills, and he's also going to grab some of that smoke coming out of the front end.
On the podium in 3rd place, Jim Kohler, Avenger, Mr. Excitement with the extreme air sky wheelie.
Oh, there you go. Take notes, Tyler. That's how you do a sky wheelie, getting the front end all the way up at 90 degrees.
Taking second, Mayhem's Chris Kohler saying, you know what, Dad, I can do something a little better on this one off the container once again.
Yeah, great job seeing Armando Castro being able to get that traction. Goes to the opposite side of the trench box, executes well, does another similar trick to what Armando did, gonna throw it in reverse and set her down.
And getting the win once again, Camden Murphy, Classroom Crusher, backing the bus up all the way up to the trench box.
Oh man, the amount of skill it takes to pull that off is unbelievable. Camden Murphy trying to walk that thing all the way up the trench box, walks it out here, at least 100 feet out, and sets it down.
He was not done, going for a reverse popper right here.
Yeah, Camden Murphy has just been on fire, doubling down, gets the front end up, gets the wheelie, gonna set it on the bumper here. Great execution and 2-wheel skills.
So Camden Murphy adds 12 more points to his total with that win. We're going to check out the BKT leaderboard after, too. He's perfect with 24. El Toro Loco in second, 5 points off. Mayhem and Zombie, 6 points off the pace. And Avenger in 5th with 16, 8 points behind. School is in session in Philly for Classroom Crusher. What will Camden Murphy's perfect night continue? Find out when freestyle begins next. Monster Jam is proud to partner with and support St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Visit monsterjam.com/St. Jude to learn how you can join us in the fight against childhood cancer. We are back at Lincoln Financial Field Stadium Championship Series East. You're watching round 22, and we are back with more Monster Jam Primetime. It has been a perfect night so far for Camden Murphy as Classroom Crusher won JCB Racing and Skills. Adam, you know, I've talked about Camden being somewhat of an afterthought on this series, but man, he is just so good, and I think if not for the adjustment to a new truck, this could have been a 3-way dance for the series title.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you, Scott. It's just so difficult sometimes when you're getting in that new truck and chassis. The frame is so stiff. it's hard to get used to the suspension, and not to mention, you're trying to get everybody to love a new IP. He's bringing that as well. Camden Murphy had flashes in Indianapolis of being able to get it done, but we're really seeing it come to fruition here in Philadelphia. It's amazing.
As far as the series points race goes, Bar Mousau had a decent night, second in racing, sixth in skills. Tyler Menga exited racing in round 2, finishing 5th in skills. When it comes to these two in the event, is every competition from here on out a must-win?
Well, I don't know if every competition's a must-win, but it's a must-win against your opponent. You got to beat the other guy, and that is so much fun as a fan to watch. You're seeing all these little fights go on between Tyler and Bari, but the coolest thing for Bar Mousau and Tyler is that they only have to focus on each other right now to gain those crucial event series points.
Talking about points, we're going to catch you up right now with the current BKT overall point standings after 2 competitions. 24 for Classroom Crusher, perfect so far on the night. El Toro Loco 5 off the pace. Mayhem and Zombie each check in with 18, and Avenger there in 5th. Now we're going to take a look at the freestyle order. Camden is in 5th, Armando 2nd, Tyler 10th, and Bari with his win in freestyle. And Foxborough gets 12th. Who's in the better spot tonight?
Well, I got to go with Classroom Crusher in that 5th place spot. But with that being said, Tyler is the only one to have a freestyle win here in Philly.
Our first competitor of freestyle out of Conroe, Texas. Riding for Team Scream Racing, Kevin Crocker in Megalodon. So Megalodon gets first crack. There's your criteria. 30 seconds to qualify for a score. If you don't complete 1 minute, you get a point deducted. You got to use all the obstacles. Be creative. Throw technical moves and combinations. Maybe hit that Morgan & Morgan backflip. The 8-pack is out there as well. But the scoring, the 50% to the fan judge, and the 50% to the expert judge. So a little combined score there, but you got to wow everybody, whether it's the expert or the fans. They want to see something pop. They want to see some pizzazz, and they want to see a 12,000-pound shark do something crazy right now.
Yeah, and I definitely think it's been very equal, and I've agreed with the fan judging and the expert judges this season as we've implemented them. You know, tonight for Kevin Crocker in Megalodon, he's at a little bit of a disadvantage though because he's going out first. The track isn't going to be as tacky as it is for the rest of the guys. You can see he's still slinging off some mud right now. He needs to try to do the best he can to execute, but the rest of these drivers really need to capitalize and watch what's going on.
First Philadelphia start here for Kevin Crocker. Debuted back in 2014. Did step away from Team Scream for 5 years. Now back in a driver's seat, riding for Jim Kohler's team out of Columbus, Michigan. Kevin told me that he started to feel the rust come off a little bit. Now he finally feels like he's able to do what he needs to do. And right now he's needing to do a Morgan & Morgan backflip. So right out the gate, Megalodon goes up on the Morgan & Morgan backflip ramp, and Kevin Crocker nails it. That's a wow moment for the fans.
Wow, great execution from Kevin Crocker. He gets a little bit of a twist in that backflip, but it doesn't mean anything. He lands perfectly on all 4 BKTs, and now he's hooking up and roosting some dirt.
Trying to get up onto that jammer pod right there. Kevin Crocker now end over end jump. Kevin, even though he's been away from the game for a while, Kevin can still go. And I think that's something that a lot of fans don't realize, but they're going to realize it tonight watching this run in Megalodon. Here's the original super glue glued to the action replay.
Let's see what happened in this backflip for Megalodon. Gets a little kick sideways off the container, but definitely not a problem and lands on all 4 BKTs.
As we continue on with our freestyle competition, next up out of Whittier, California is 2-time World Finals champion Armando Castro in El Toro Loco with his thoughts on going from arenas to stadiums. We go back to Leslie Mears.
Guys, we've talked a lot this season about how Armando Castro is used to arenas and using every single bit of space that there is. Well, when the conditions are slick, you can't really do that. He said he learned at Foxborough that you can't get close to those edges because when you do, you really got to slow down. When you slow down, you lose your momentum, and then in the mud, you can't get it back. So he said he's going to stay a little closer to the center this week to try to avoid that, keep his momentum up, and just get crazy.
It's not a bad philosophy when you're driving in the mud. Just get crazy.
Yeah, definitely not a bad philosophy at all, but I know what Armando's talking about. You don't even want to get anywhere near the edges because I feel like once you get close to those edges, it can just grab you and it almost pulls you into those containers and it gets so dangerous, and then you slow down and you can't get the momentum back up. And believe it or not, every single jump matters in Monster Jam for the momentum. It might not even be real physical momentum, but it might just be the height that you feel in the truck and the confidence each jump gives you.
On a track like this, the BKT tires, the traction that these tires allow these drivers to be able to maintain control, so important in trying to keep a competition going and try to keep that 2 2 minutes and get everything you need. Those BKTs shining tonight.
Yeah, you can definitely tell the BKTs are hooking up really well right now. The track is drying out. You could tell, too, just by how much mud is flinging off the truck. Armando Castro looks like he's searching just a little bit to figure out what he's going to do next.
Going into reverse, maybe a Morgan backflip attempt. Here we go with El Toro Loco, second one of the night. We saw Megalodon nail it. El Toro Loco trying, and El Toro Loco with a brake check bounce on the front two BKTs, and Armando Castro is not done at him. This is that momentum that he told Leslie about.
Yeah, exactly. Gets a nice little 1-2 punch there over that center pod. Let's see if he can continue just a little bit more.
Armando Castro picking it up again. More air on each one of these jumps that he's nailing. Armando Castro up over that jammer pod. Bicycles his way through it now into a donut. And roosting away some of that mud. And a powerful donut here from El Toro Loco as we see Armando Castro put that exclamation point on the freestyle run. Check out the original Super Glue to the action replay.
I like the way that Armando Castro stayed calm into this backflip. Slight under rotation, but that's okay. You want to be a little bit lighter on those front wheels, take some pressure off the back wheels, and then he has a nice 1-2 punch. Big air over the pod right here. You can see the truck handling it very well. And then at the end finishes it off with a donut for the fans in Philly.
We are just getting started with the final competition of the night, which means more freestyle is next on Monster Jam Primetime. Welcome back to Route 22 of Monster Jam Primetime. Today's festivities kicked off earlier at the link with the most family-oriented pit party in motorsports. Fans arrived early to meet their favorite drivers and see the trucks. If you want to attend the pit party at your next event, get your tickets at monsterjam.com. Moments ago, freestyle continued at the link with Mike Christensen in Vendetta. Filled the clock, but earned only a 6.066.
Yeah, definitely hard to be your best every single time. Not the score he was looking for.
And same result here for Jurassic Attack Dalton Wider, 6.752. Fans just not scoring high very early, Adams.
Yeah, great effort, but unfortunate.
Coming up next with the event championship on the line, Camden Murphy and Classroom Crusher. He's been perfect so far. With more on his freestyle run, we hear from Leslie.
You guys have been talking about it. The perfect event is hard to come by, and Camden is poised for it. So I approached him after skills and said, you think you can do it tonight? He goes, I never have. I've never been able to pull it off. Two things going in his favor tonight. One, his sister is here. If you guys remember, in Indianapolis, he had an awesome event when his parents were there. And two, he said that he's got this wild, crazy thing up his sleeve that he's going to make happen tonight. So he said if he can get that for him, he said he might be able to just pull it off tonight.
Thank you, Leslie. I'm intrigued here with this wild and crazy thing that Camden Murphy might be planning. Anything is going to be tough to pull off on a track like this, but if there's any driver that can do it, it's Camden Murphy.
Yeah, but the thing that I like right now is look at the track. You can see it starting to tack up. The dirt's getting a little heavier, little more dirt flinging off those BKT tires. And for Camden Murphy, I feel like he's just letting it flow tonight. He's not thinking about it too much. The truck setup's good. He's good. It's definitely feeling like the perfect night for Camden Murphy.
So far, so good. 2 freestyle wins on the season in 2025. He's got the second highest average on this series. 3 overall event championship wins to boot, trying for number 4. And a big freestyle run here goes a long way to securing that 4th trophy. Big air brake check for Camden Murphy, clearing it. Now we got a convertible bus on the track.
There we go.
Listen to the fans, they love that. The top comes off the bus, the fans immediately go nuts, and Camden Murphy now going to start to feel this thing and let this thing rip.
Yeah, and this is where that momentum comes into play, right? You can't make your top come off. Oh my goodness, what an air from Camden Murphy. The truck handles it perfectly. Everything just seems to be going Camden's way right now.
Morgan backflip. Camden Murphy trying to keep the truck on the track. We saw the smoke coming out, and he's got a quick backflip, and he lands it into a moonwalk. Crushes the top of Classroom Crusher. What a run for Camden Murphy so far, and he's not done yet.
Woo! He is slinging the truck in Philadelphia right now. I love the way he's driving. Absolute chaos, caution to the wind. Camden Murphy's going to have the perfect event right now.
On the nose, flips the truck, finally gonna come to an end, but my, oh my, what a run for Camden Murphy.
Wow, the excitement was on 10 right now. The huge air from Camden Murphy. The truck handles it perfectly, and then here's the backflip combination. Let's watch this one more time. You can see those back BKTs grab, then he executes, hits it in reverse, gets the moonwalk, and then let's see the chaos at the end of the run. He comes off this jump just a little bit sideways, gets the back of that freestyle ramp, kicks up, and then goes into the wheelie and somehow manages to get it on 2 BKTs. Unbelievable.
And we got a new leader, 9.474, rightfully so. Camden Murphy is out in front. I'd hate to be Colt Stevens right now having to follow that run, but Colt is a World Finals freestyle champion in the past, so Colt can do it. He's a 2-time World Finals champion out of Houston, Texas. Thunderoris now on the track. That last move by Camden Murphy, Adam, if I didn't have my Zennies on, I don't know if I would have believed what I just saw.
I mean, you say Colt can do it, but if I'm Colt right now, I'm hanging my helmet in the locker and calling it a day. Wow, what an unbelievable run from Camden. This is going to be very hard to top, but this is Monster Jam. You never know what's going to happen. Colt Stevens could be running off that energy, and right now he just needs to grab it.
Was that run good enough for a perfect event for Camden Murphy?
I mean, it should be. If I'm an expert judge, I'm putting a 10 on that run. Everything I wanted to see was in there. Colt Stevens, great air over that pod right now. Wow.
All right, let's get back to business here. Colt Stevens, the 2-time World Finals champion out of Sugar Land, Texas, coming in to get some nice air, continues to build momentum, but this time he is going to catch the back of that truck. He's able to pull out of it. My goodness, almost disaster there for Thunderoris. Morgan backflip attempt now for Colt Stevens. Thunderoris coming in hot to the backflip ramp, flips the truck around, gets a nice bounce on a front 2 BKTs, able to land it, hits reverse, and he's got the whole track in front of him right now.
Yeah, this is still a solid run from Colt Stevens right now. Great execution on the backflip, and he has a big save. It's definitely what we're looking for.
Feeling the track now a little bit. Camden Murphy.
Oh, gets a little sideways. There it goes.
Take it, and the front housing of that truck just went bye-bye. Thunderoris lost its feet, but my goodness, what a finish to Colt's run.
Yeah, you can see right here, he gets a little sideways, makes a great save, and then here's that backflip. The front end gets popped up just a little bit, loses traction, able to get the truck settled down on those BKT tires, and then you see that push right off the face of the jump. It's going to kick him out, and then there goes the whole front end of the truck. Thunderoris is going to need some work.
Camden Murphy has a freestyle lead, but can he hang on for the perfect event? Find out when Primetime returns. Monster Jam is brought to you by Spin Master. Crush it, crash it, jam it. We're back in Philadelphia during the break. Freestyle continue with Avenger, but Jim Kohler comes off the backside of the berm, rolls the truck with 86 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, you can see comes up short just a little bit, over throttles, lands on 2 BKTs.
And then Chris Kohler Mayhem going for the 8-pack, but he rolls, leaving 20 seconds on the clock.
Unfortunate for the Kohler boys. On to the next.
Now we continue on with freestyle. Next up is the 2019 World Finals high jump champion Cynthia Goautier and Lucas Stabilizer with Cynthia's thoughts on how to freestyle on this track. We're going to hear from our pit reporter, Leslie Mears.
For Cynthia, she said the biggest thing is, yes, you have to keep your momentum up on a track like this so you can go crazy out there, but you've also got to hit the jump square. That's where you're going to get the most wow factor. She said tonight the step up looks really safe for her. She said she thinks that's going to be one of her big safe jumps out here that's going to help her keep that momentum rolling so she can land it and go to the next one.
Adam, so safe jumps and wow factor generally don't go together. She's talking about hitting the jump square. That's going to keep you safe, but generally the wow factor is when you throw caution to the wind, flip the truck into chaos mode, and hit something in a way that it's not supposed to be hit.
Yeah, but you're looking for that highlight moment, and that's at the end, right? That's that chaos moment that you're talking about, that you're not hitting the jump square. But leading up to that, you have to have those little wow moments that build your freestyle up. And what Cynthia's talking about is she just wants to get both BKTs on the same angle of ramp, so it's not pitching her truck left to right. We saw at the beginning of her run, she grabbed one of those jumps that just wasn't as even, and then right there on that last jump, it was a little more even. She could land on all 4 BKT tires. And what she's doing is trying to be safe so she can get to that wow moment at the end and throw caution to the wind.
Third Philadelphia start for Cynthia Goautier. Her best freestyle finish was 4. She's going for the 8-pack. Cynthia Goautier able to land it. She had a nice shove right into that 8-pack, but she's able to come out of it unscathed, and Lucas Stabilizer is still riding.
Yeah, great job from Cynthia. She was so calm going into it. She had perfect speed, wasn't over-throttling the truck, and great execution on that 8-pack backflip. That is a very difficult obstacle.
Gotta love the 8-pack. It just comes from out of nowhere. That is a wow moment. That's something to get the fans on their feet. But what if she does from here on out could win her the freestyle competition. But right now, Camden Murphy, that's going to be a tough score to beat.
Yeah, great job getting over that lip on the other side of the pod for Cynthia.
Here's the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, good speed coming into the 8-pack backflip. You can see great rotation. Then she's going to get a push off from that front BKT as well. That's going to save her. Great job from Cynthia.
Our next competitor had a big win a few weeks ago in New Orleans. It's Tyler Menga in Gravedigger. And he's got 4 freestyle wins on the 2025 season, 6 overall event wins as well, making his second start at Lincoln Financial Field. As you mentioned earlier, 1 freestyle, also won the overall here back in 2024.
For Tyler tonight, man, the accolades are unbelievable for him. But for Tyler tonight, we talked about it a little bit in the broadcast so far. It's not so much about beating Camden Murphy right now, right? It's about beating Bar Mousau. So he has to get those points on the board. He has to have a solid freestyle. I don't know if you want to try to, beat Camden Murphy right now, because you're going to have to tear the truck to the ground, and that risks not filling that freestyle time. You just want to get that solid podium time and make Bar Mousau earn those freestyle points.
Well, as of right now, unofficially, he trails Bari by 7 points in the season point standings. So every run from here on out, crucial. And as you said, you don't have to beat everybody. You just got to beat the guy you're trying to win the series title from. Bar Mousau has yet to ride here in Zombie. That is coming up soon. Right now, it is all about Tyler Menga in Gravedigger, the 6-time series champion, 2-time World Finals champion.
See Tyler Menga, big cutout on that windshield, trying to get some vision.
He's got vision right now with the Morgan backflip ramp. Comes in absolutely perfect position. Nails it. Does hit the container on the back end of that. They're going to let him continue to run here.
Yep, it is a human factor in the officials. Sometimes they miss it. Sometimes they can't see it on the opposite side of the stadium. Tyler is able to continue. So that is huge for this series right now.
Tyler Menga trying to finish strong here in Gravedigger. The truck going round and round, trying to find his footing here, trying to make sure he's got what he wants in front of him. Here he goes. Tyler Menga starting to feel it. Backside again into a wheelie, and down over the step up goes Gravedigger.
Yep, something's wrong with the truck. It looks like an inner outer axle is broken on Gravedigger.
Yeah, locked up back wheel there. Let's take a look at the original super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Here's the backflip from Tyler Menga. You can see he's going to over-rotate just a little bit, landing heavy on those BKTs, and then he pushes that box just a little bit, grabs it, and then you can see the truck's moving a little bit left. That's from that rear tire not pulling forward on the left side. We're going to get a good shot of it from behind right here. You can see that BKT just not pulling, Scott.
And broken sway bar dangling out of the back end of that Gravedigger truck. Let's check out our current freestyle leaderboard. Classroom Crusher on top, Thunder Roars in second, Gravedigger in third, Toro Loco in fourth, and Megalodon currently in fifth. We are down to the last 2 trucks. Freestyle Foley and the series points leader close us out next on Monster Jam Primetime. We are back at Lincoln Financial Field, the home of the Philadelphia Eagles, for the conclusion of round 22 with Stadium Championship Series East. As we continue on with freestyle out of Leicester, Massachusetts, it's Freestyle Foley, Joe Foley, driving axe. Let's talk about the track differentials, because you keep saying that the track is Joe Foley just right out the gate with a beautiful brake check jump, greasing the wheels down that ramp on the backside of the step up. But let's talk about when you say the track is starting to tack up. You explain to our fans what that means.
Well, at the beginning of the day, it definitely had a lot of water on it. And what happened is there's a lot of dry dirt underneath that top layer. And what happens is those BKTs are just able to turn the track up, and they're driving over it and over it and over it, and the sun's coming out. So you have 2 factors. You have the mixing of the dirt from the BKTs and then the sun beaming down. And what that's going to do is it's going to make it a little heavier, less slippery. And Joe Foley, oh my goodness, making a huge save.
I don't even know what to call that, Adam. We're going to see that hopefully on the replay. But my goodness, he just went all over that track. Brake check everywhere. Cartwheels. He did exactly this. This is what he did. He's trying to do it again.
Freestyle Foley is out here in Philadelphia. Comes up short, but capitalizing.
Joe Foley now comes up over the step-up. Slap wheelie combination move there for Axe. This kid's got a lot of guts in him. He's got a lot of fortitude, and I know that his season has been very frustrating for him, but he can do things like this, and he needs to do them more often.
Yeah, and that's really what differentiates a great Monster Jam driver from not, is being able to make those saves.
Morgan backflip attempt here for Axe. Joe Foley comes in with a lot of throttle, pushes off the back two wheels, and is going to end up on the roof. Take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
This is where he comes up short. You can see he just comes up short on those jumps, rides it out, stays in the throttle, and then puts on the brakes to try to not hit the 8-pack backflip. Wow, the great awareness from Joe Foley on that first one. And then here's the second time he comes up short. You can see those back BKTs just grab that pod on the outside, grab those jumps, gets it slowed down once again. And then here it just looks like the truck stalls out. The motor might have blown up. Something happened big time to Axe.
Still gets an 8.995, so fans rewarding Joe for the risks he took. Our final competitor, the series points leader, Bar Mousau in Zombie, with an update on Bari's approach to this track. Let's rejoin Leslie Mears.
Being the last in freestyle can be a blessing and a curse. And for Bari, he told me in the middle of freestyle here that he's really worried about it being a little bit of a curse tonight. And those jumps being really laid down. As we've talked about all night, this track is very sandy out here. And we saw it in the skills competition, how those ramps just kind of went away. That's what he's worried about here, being the last competitor of the night.
The track absolutely destroyed at this point, so Bari basically gets to pick over the leftovers and see what he likes, but Bari has won many freestyles this season. He's got 6, so he's used to being in this position.
Yes, and like you said, he's just relying on experience right now. But something that Leslie brought up that I don't like at all, he thinks it's going to be a curse. And in sports, as an athlete, mindset is everything. You have to turn that around and make the best of every situation.
It's the second time Bar Mousau has competed in Philadelphia. The first, Adam, you go all the way back to 2012 in Spider-Man. That shows you how long it's been since Bari has seen dirt like this in Philadelphia, but he's navigating it brilliantly right now as you see a wheelie onto that wheelie bar, dragging Zombie across the track.
Yeah, great job on getting that thing 90 degrees up and dragging the bumper there for Bar Mousau. That was great execution on that two-wheel skills trick. See if he can continue.
Turns that into a sky wheelie. We just saw a preview of the backflip ramp when we see Zombie goes in there, but we see Axe just laid to waste on the other side of it, so that closes off one complete side of the backflip ramp. So Bari's going to have to really navigate where he's going, and he's doing it right now. Morgan backflip attempt for Bar Mousau. Zombie goes in. Zombie going to come up short, but he's going to nail the save. That tire was buried into the dirt, and he somehow, Adam, still pulled it off.
Yep, experience from Bar Mousau. He's able to not hit the throttle too hard. He hits it just right to not over-rotate the truck and misstep any more than he already did. Bar Mousau making a big save, and that's going to gain him crucial points.
Bottom half of that mouth just hanging on by a thread right now, Zombie, and that is going to do it. Take a look at the original Super Glue to the action replay.
Yeah, definitely a conservative freestyle from Bar Mousau. You see right here, he hits the throttle, just bumps it the slightest bit to get the truck settled down. Bari right now, the truck is handling excellent, and he's making sure he's getting solid, consistent points.
Here's our final freestyle top 5. Classroom Crusher gets the win. Thunder Roars in second, Axe in third, Gravedigger in fourth, and with that run, Zombie finishes in fifth. Now we check out the final BKT overall points standings. Camden Murphy wins freestyle, gets the perfect event. Zombie and El Toro Loco tied at 26, and a Gravedigger and Mayhem tied at 22 apiece. For Camden, it is his freestyle win number 3, his 4th overall event win of the season. Now let's join Leslie and our champion.
Your first ever clean sweep here in Philly, but let's talk about freestyle, because that was just insane. How are you able to keep it on the ground?
I don't know, and it's just so much fun here in Philly. These fans were loud, they were rowdy, the pit party was awesome. But you know, thanks to these two guys right here, they make sure Classroom Crushers all good to go each and every single event. Man, it's been a blast and an honor to be able to debut a brand new Monster Jam truck, Classroom Crusher, and I've been promising you guys I've been putting this thing on the map. It's been a little bit of a struggle this year, but man, this right here, this is what it's all about. I never gave up. I believed in myself. I believed in this dream. I was a little kid sitting at home just like all you Mustang fans out there. And man, I'm just a big kid right here having fun, but that's because I never, ever gave up. Mustang fans, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys at the next one.
We will stay with this series for one more round when we bring you coverage around 23 from MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. For Adam Entignap and Leslie Mears, I'm Scott Jordan. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right here next time on Monster Jam Primetime.